go through these steps together. For opponent powers, regret. Oops, come off. This one's. Yeah. Regret. Then the next one is reliance. The next one, which is refuge and compassion. Then we've got the remedy, and then we have this resolve. This is 4. There's different order you can do if you do these practices. You'll see it can be different order sometimes, but it seems to me this is a nice. This works very well. This order for my mind. So I feel very natural about it, you know. And of course I'm going to say words, and you're going to use those words for your thoughts. And if some of these words don't make sense to you, then don't say them. Don't think them. It's okay. You're the boss here. I'm just guiding the way. You know? It's up to you. So this first step is regret. So like we've been talking, we're going to think about. We'll use we'll use the list of 10 things as our basis here. Okay. The actions that are called negative, which are ones that harm others. And we're going to regret them, as you'll see, we're going to state them. So, okay, we think of the ones of the body first. Maybe we think of killing first, you know. Some of us maybe in this life. We think of those things we've done in this life. Some of us, you know, maybe we've killed rats, mice, cockroaches, lice, ants, you know, these things. Maybe we've killed fish. Maybe we've killed, you know, deer, bears, kangaroos, I don't know, go hunting. Maybe we've killed humans. Maybe we've been in the army or the navy or something, dropped bombs. Maybe we've killed a human being as an abortion, as a human being. From the first second of conception, in a womb, it's become a human being, you know. Not a fully developed one, but there's a mind in there. And the mind being present in that egg and sperm is the definition of its being a sentient being, and it's a human. So that's called abortion. So perhaps we've done one of those. So it is a think. Just think if we can, it fits our mind. We can think, okay, I regret doing these actions of killing sentient beings. Why? This is the point. Because, given that I accept that that's a negative action, and that means it was motivated, in my case, by attachment, fear, anger, you know, then it follows that's a negative karmic seed I planted in my mind, and that means if I leave that seed there, it will grow and eventually ripen as many fruits of the 4 kinds of suffering that we've talked about that karmic seeds can ripen as. Type of rebirth, suffering rebirth, the tendency to keep doing it, the experience of it happening to me, or the environmental result, as we discussed yesterday. So I regret having done those, because you know why? Because I don't want that kind of suffering to happen to me. This is the simple reasoning behind regret. And we have to speak it out because we don't think this normally. I regret from the depths of my heart any action of killing that I've done intentionally, and even those that I've done unintentionally. Think about it. Killing sentient beings. I'm harming sentient beings with my body. You know. Killing especially. It's because I do not want the future results to ripen as my suffering. Because you know why? Because I'm sick of suffering. And then think if it makes sense to us, given that Buddha would say that my consciousness is a beginningless continuity of mental moments, that I've been in samsara all these beginningless lifetimes. My mind has been taking life after life after life. It's just the way karma is. And given that I've, got delusions, it follows logically I've done countless actions of killing. Of course, the Buddha would say there've been animals countless times. So when we think of animals, they spend their lives killing and being killed, driven by fear, attachment, So the most harm we've done killing is certainly as an animal. Like I said yesterday, as a whale, we've opened our mouth, or one mouthful of one breakfast, And whales live a long time. And 40 million sentient beings just went in. Well, that's called killing, you know. So they leave us for dead as humans. So I regret any action of taking the life of a sentient being that I've done in my countless past lives. Trillions of actions. And why do I regret them? Because those actions sowed seeds in my mind, and those seeds are sitting in my karmic bank waiting for the conditions to ripen as my suffering. And guess what? I am sick of suffering. I do not want more suffering. I do not want to be killed, to be harmed, to be born in the lower realms. I do not want suffering. I'm exhausted by suffering. Therefore, I regret all these actions of killing since beginning this time. So then we have the actions also of our body called stealing, taking things that are not offered to us. And then the other one, based on sexual attachment, could be raping, sexual abuse, misusing our bodies, to fulfill our own needs, harming sentient beings. And certainly as humans, cheating on partners. All of this, no doubt in countless lives, no doubt as humans, as animals as well. So we think, anything I've done since beginning this time to harm sentient beings because of sexual attachment, and indeed taking things because of attachment that haven't been offered to me, all of these actions since beginning this time, I regret from the depths of my heart, because I don't want the seeds that those actions planted in my mind to ripen in the future as my experiences of suffering, because I'm sick of suffering, fed up with suffering. I regret all that harm that I've done from the depths of my heart. So now we have these 4 actions of our speech, which we, of course, is unique to humans. I don't think the animals do this one. We've got, lying speech, which can be, we can see the chaos, the suffering that this can cause others. And look at the harm it does to us. Right now, just the having of the confusion it causes. Not to mention the future results. Being lied to, not being trusted, all the environmental results. The experience similar to the cause results, all of this, the tendency to keep doing it. We can see this is chaos. I regret all this since beginning this time. This action that has harmed sentient beings called lying, because I don't want the future karmic results. The harsh speech, as we looked yesterday, the karmic results of harsh speech from the experience point of view is simply to be surrounded constantly by violent, unhappy speech, suffering, and the environmental result, living in a desert, nothing can grow, just destroyed. Harsh speech is like an atomic bomb that destroys. I don't want the karmic results, not to mention lower realms. So, whatever harsh speech I've done since the beginning of this time, I regret from the depths of my heart, because I don't want that kind of suffering. And we've got this one called divisive talk, which is talking, I call it saying bad things about people behind their backs, which is what causes division. Look at the families that are split up. The disharmony. Look at organisations that break up. Look at countries. What do you think war is, This group against this group. And each believing the other, all the paranoid stories about each other. No one to trust, no one to know what's going on. All of this is the result of this, Or even, just people around each other fighting each other. This is the result of divisive talk. Divisions in relationships. Unbelievable. Look at the suffering. Well, even forget the lower realms. I do not want more of that. It's a nightmare. So of course I regret all this talking about people behind their backs, which we do so often. I regret this since beginning this time, because I know I don't want that suffering. I know I don't want that suffering. I know right now I don't want it. So I don't want it in the future, that's for sure. So I regret from the depths of my heart. And then the idle talk, the rabbiting on, We know right now, if we look at our lives, we know the suffering of no one taking our words, taking us seriously. Just people dismiss us, don't pay attention to what we say. We know how painful that is. That's the karmic result. Just that alone is the karmic result. Even just that we can see we don't like, can't bear it. I don't want more of that suffering, so therefore I regret that kind of activity. Since beginning this time. And we can see with all of these ones of speech how it's taught in the teachings, the environmental result. Either, violence, broken, ugly, busted, nothing grows. All this is the karmic result, the environmental karmic result. The very way the environment itself manifests in our lives is the fruit of our past actions. All of this I regret from the depths of my heart, the negativity I created by speech. Because I don't want the future result. I don't want those results. And I know I don't, because I know now when I get them, I don't want them. They're painful. So I regret. So the three of the mind, the craving, the bottomless pit of attachment, always wanting something more, dissatisfaction, craving, never giving up craving something, wanting something, coveting something, so distressing. I don't want to be dominated by this. No way. Bad enough now. And the ill will, this one, this unbearable expression of anger. And you can't give up thinking about it, resentful, bitter, and almost wanting the person to suffer. Any of this from the past, completely unbearable. I regret from the depths of my heart. Because I don't want the karmic result. Being dominated by anger and being surrounded, this is the point, being surrounded, always finding yourself being around, not getting help. People harming you, people harming each other, being surrounded by this. Can you imagine? We know this is like a nightmare. It's the result of this ill will, extent of anger. I regret from the depths of my heart. And this grosser level of ignorance, this one of wrong views, as they call it, that ends up bringing this result of being very ignorant, very narrow-minded, very fearful. Eye for an eye, racist, sexist, fundamentalist in our views, which is a lot of fear, a lot of ignorance. And being surrounded by this. Don't want this. No way. I regret all of this from the depths of my heart. So if we have taken vows, if we've gone to that level, and we've got the 5 lay vows, let's say, then we should especially regret having broken the vows, because that's like an added level of broken. You know, the commitment we made, the vow we took, we've killed intentionally, lied, stolen, whatever we've done. Deeply regret these, because I don't want the future suffering as a result of this. If we've taken bodhisattva vows, same thing. No way. I want to weaken my aspiration to become a Buddha, to block my realizations. I don't want this. So whom can we turn to? Who's our doctor? Whom can we rely upon? Well, here we've got the Buddha, we're using the Buddha, so in this particular aspect, the bodhisattva aspect, very radiant, blissful, above our heads. Imagine them above your head, this energy made of light, in this Indian style, you see in the pictures, royal style, kind of, sitting cross-legged on a lotus. He's got white body, white light in his body. He's kind of covered in the lower parts, and sort of this rainbow silken kind of clothes, not many clothes, you see it in the pictures. He's sitting in full lotus position on a multicoloured lotus. And on that lotus is a sun disk and a moon disk, which are like flat cushions, and they represent wisdom and compassion. Everything's radiant light, so blissful. His very blissful face. They say all these Buddhas own the aspect of their youth, about 16 years old. They're meant to energize us, make us very happy, delighted, blissful, radiant. His face, extremely beautiful. Loving eyes, sweet red mouth, radiant, full of love, full of compassion, full of wisdom. And his hair, you see it in the pictures, in the very Indian style, black, long black hair down his back, but then partially held up in a top knot, decorated with beautiful jewels. His 5-pointed crown on the front of his head like a tiara, you see it in the pictures. And jewellery in his ears, upper arms, wrists, throat, feet. In the Indian style, you see in the pictures. And then in his left hand, in his lap, he has a dorje, a bell. Well, actually, just think about it as, it's at his heart, it's okay? I think at his heart, a bell crossed at his heart, and then over that left hand is his right hand crossed, holding a vajra or dorje. The only English equivalent is a thunderbolt or something, which doesn't really work. So you think, but if you know what a vajra looks like. And then these arms crossed like that is in the union, the mudra they call it, of union, which is showing the union of the two truths, the union of wisdom and compassion, enlightenment. Everything's made of light. So now if we have a spiritual teacher, have a Lama, Guru, either one we've had in the past or one we would like to have, or even if we haven't got one but we'd like one, we think there's one out there, or we sort of just think that they're twiddling their thumbs waiting for you to recognise them, dying to help you. So they're manifesting as Vajrasattva, as the Buddha, for your benefit. Think like this. So think the Lama's mind, the Guru's mind, the Buddha's mind, same thing. Makes it personal. And their only job is to help me. That's what they're committed to doing. So now Lama Bodhisattva very happily, very compassionately sends from his brow this very powerful kind of hose of liquid energy, nectar, white, that arcs around and enters your crown very forcefully, instantly fills you with this radiant nectar, that then drives out through your entire being, drives out first all the imprints of all the negative actions, the seeds of all the negative actions we've done with our body and speech since beginningless time. All of this driven out by this powerful hose of energy filling us. And it forces it all out like filthy liquid through the lower parts of our body, and it disappears into space. Not one atom left. Imagine this. Want this. Continuously coming, filling us, purifying, as you recite the mantra. Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Teno Patita Dido Mevawa Sutokayo Mevawa Supokayo Mevawa Anorakto Mevawa Sarva Siddhi Memprayatsa Sawa Karma Sutsame Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hong Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sarva Tata Gata Vajramami Mutsa Vajraba Mahasama Sattva Ahum Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupadaya Vajrasattva Teno Patita Dido Mevawa Sutokayo Mevawa Subhakayo Mevawa Anorakto Mevawa Sarva Siddhi Memprayatsa Sawa Karma Sutsame Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hong Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sarva Tata Gata Vajramami Mutsa Vajraba Mahasama Sattva Ahum Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupadaya Vajrasattva Teno Patita Dido Mevawa Sutokayo Mevawa Supokayo Mevawa Anorakto Mevawa Sarva Siddhi Memprayatsa Sawa Karma Sutsame Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hong Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sarva Tata Gata Vajramami Mutsa Vajraba Mahasama Sattva Ahum Pe. Full of this nectar. All the negativity of our body disappeared into space. Not one atom left. Be so delighted. Now Lama Vajrasattva very happily sends again this powerful hose of nectar from his brow that enters our crown and fills us completely. And this time what it does is drive up to the top of our body all the negativity, all the imprints of all the harm we've ever done since beginning this time with our speech. All disappearing like filthy liquid through the top part of our body. Just as Lama says, when you turn on the tap in the sink. All the junk in the glass comes to the surface and disappears. It goes through the top of the glass, leaves through the top of the glass, like that, thinking. All the imprints of the negativity of speech. Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Teno Patita Dido Mevawa Sutokayo Mevawa Supokayo Mevawa Anorakta Mevawa Sarva Siddhi Memprayatsa Sawa Karma Sutsame Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hong Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sarva Tata Gata Vajramami Mutsa Vajraba Mahasama Sattva Ahum Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Teno Patita Dido Mevawa Sutokayo Mevawa Supokayo Mevawa Anorakta Mevawa Sarva Siddhi Memprayatsa Sawa Karma Sutsame Siddham Shriyam Kuru Hong Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sarva Tata Gata Vajramami Mutsa Vajraba Mahasama Sattva Ahum Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Teno Patita Dido Mevawa Sutokayo Mevawa Supokayo Mevawa Anorakta Mevawa Sarva Siddhi Memprayatsa Sawa Karma Sutsame Siddham Shriyam Kuru Hong Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sarva Tata Gata Vajramami Mutsa Vajraba Mahasama Sattva Ahum Pe. I forgot compassion. I forgot refuge and compassion. I leapt to the third step. So now we have to suddenly bring in compassion. Think of the sentient beings. Okay, so think of the sentient beings. Pause, go back to the second step. And think of all, we didn't do it, did we? People? No. I'm so sorry, so we have to focus again. Okay, so we think of refuge, we turn to the Buddha, that's what I did. We visualise above our head that I forgot to do the compassion, so we add that to it now. We're doing this purification because not only because we're sick of suffering, but because now those we have harmed and those who've harmed us, because they are suffering too, and for the same reason as me. Because of their karma and their delusions. The more I have it for myself, the more compassion I'll have for myself, the more I'll have renunciation, the more my heart will break for others, because we are in the same boat. So all those we've harmed, all those who've harmed us, we're doing this for their sake. Because if I don't help them, who will? Remember, the compassion is based on renunciation, based on the first step, based on you being sick of suffering because you now know why, karma and delusions. This increases and then gives you compassion for every single sentient being without exception. So I must help. If I don't, who will? That's why I'm purifying, so I can become a Buddha to help them. Now the third step. This time we're going to purify the delusions in the mind, which are the source of what I do with my body and speech to harm others. The fundamental one, the ego grasping, which is the root delusion, which gives rise to this bottomless pit of craving and attachment to get what I want, which gives rise to anger and rage when I don't, which is what causes us to harm others, and the other things that are there, the jealousy, the depression, the fears, the anxiety, the worries, the arrogance, all of this. This time Lama Vajrasattva very happily sends beams of light, laser beams of light. And as I said yesterday, I don't know if beams of light can arc around, but we pretend they can. And we imagine from the heart of Lama Vajrasattva these radiant, powerful beams that arc around, enter into our crown, and then instantly fill us. Annihilating instantly, just like when you turn on a light in the room, as Lama Yeshe says, instantly the darkness is dispelled. So instantly the delusions are gone, annihilated, full of this blissful, radiant light. O Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Tenopatita Dido Mebawa Sutokayo Mebawa Supokayo Mebawa Anorato Mebawa Sarvasiddhi Meprayasa Sawa Kama Sutsame Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hong Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sarva Tathagata Vatamami Mutsa Vatabhava Mahasamaha Sattva Ahum Pe O Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Tenopatita Dido Mebawa Sutokayo Mebawa Supokayo Mebawa Anorakta Mebawa Sarvasiddhi Meprayasa Sawa Kama Sutsame Siram Shriyam Kuru Hong Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sarva Tathagata Vatamami Mutsa Vatabhava Mahasamaha Sattva Ahum Pe O Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Tenopatita Dido Mebawa Sutokayo Mebawa Supokayo Mebawa Anorakta Mebawa Sarvasiddhi Meprayasa Sawa Kama Sutsame Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hong Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sarva Tathagata Vatamami Mutsa Vatabhava Mahasamaha Sattva Ahum Pe. So now I think we've removed what they call the obstacles to our liberation, which is now we've achieved, imagine, our own liberation from suffering, but we have more obstacles to remove, which even the subtler ones, which are the obstacles to our becoming actually a Buddha. So we think this time, like I said yesterday, we're busy, the three together, removing even the subtlest imprints of all delusions from the mind, manifesting as our own Buddhahood. The white light coming from down, going up, and then the light coming. The white nectar, down and up, and then the light. If you can imagine all three, or do them separately, whatever, removing even these subtlest imprints. O Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Tenopatita Dido Mebawa Sutokayo Mebawa Supokayo Mebawa Anorakta Mebawa Sarvasiddhi Meprayasa Sawa Kama Sutsame Siddham Shriyam Kuru Hong Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sarva Tathagata Vatamami Mutsa Vatabhava Mahasamaha Sattva Ahum Pe O Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Tenopatita Dido Mebawa Sutokayo Mebawa Supokayo Mebawa Anorakta Mebawa Sarvasiddhi Meprayasa Sawa Kama Sutsame Siddham Shriyam Kuru Hong Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sarva Tathagata Vatamami Mutsa Vatabhava Mahasamaha Sattva Ahum Pe O Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Tenopatita Dido Mebawa Sutokayo Mebawa Supokayo Mebawa Anorakta Mebawa Sarvasiddhi Meprayasa Sawa Kama Sutsame Siddham Shriyam Kuru Hong Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sarva Tathagata Vatamami Mutsa Vatabhava Mahasamaha Sattva Ahum Pe. So now the fourth step, as the Bonka Rinpoche says, the most important. This is the one that causes us to actually change, to remove the habits. This all purify altogether, but this is where we make the decision to take a new direction, make a decision. So if we can think of these 10, if that's the least we can do, we think, okay, if we can say, I will not kill for 24 hours, even if we can do 24 hours, say it. If you feel already you've committed to say, even though you mightn't have taken the vow yet, I will not kill, then fantastic, say it. So these 10, the killing, any sentient being, make decision, whatever decision you feel you can make. If you've taken a vow not to kill already, then fine, you reiterate that vow. You literally say, I will never kill again. That's your vow. You've taken that vow for life. If you haven't taken it, but you feel you could say, I won't do it again, or you say, I'll give it a go, or I'll try for a day. The same with the other actions. Do the killing first. Make your own decision, what you feel you can do in relation to that one. According to your ability, your call, you're the boss. Means intentionally. We're killing every minute. We can't help it, but intentionally. And there's taking things that don't belong. This is a tough one for us with computers now. Music, downloading. Really think about this one. If you've never thought of this as stealing, then think about it, If you can commit, if you've taken a vow not to steal, then it means you must say, I will never steal again. Which means, as Lama Zopa calls it, taking the ungiven. If you can't say that, then you think, I'll do my best not to take something that's not given. If you can commit to it for a day, whatever, say it, speak to yourself. Taking the ungiven. Sexual misconduct. So maybe the main one here that's talked about really is the one of cheating on partners. But if you can think yourself, if you're a bit addicted to sex and maybe you misuse others as a result, or you harm others as a result of your sexual attachment, maybe who knows? Look into your own mind and know yourself. Not just attachment, that's just the mind. We're talking about using the body to harm others. So if you've got a commitment to not, no sexual misconduct, you reiterate that vow. If you haven't, you think about, if it's not a big deal for you, then it's easy to commit. So you make your own decision. And then we have 4 of the speech. So if we've got a vow, it will be the vow not to kill. But the other 3, which are in these 10, we can think about these as well. We can say, I will never lie, I will never badmouth behind backs, I will never just rabbit on about nothing, I will never, use high speech. If you can commit yourself to these, how marvellous. So according to your own tendencies, think about it. Make some decisions about your speech. Very powerful. And then your mind, just do your best to, make a commitment in relation to your strong attachments, strong anger and ill will and the wrong views of business like that. Your mind, can protect your mind from as much as we can, as well as maybe thinking of your own neuroses, like your own jealousy, your own confusion, your own fears, your depression, your angry thoughts, all the stuff that just pervades our minds. As we get to know our minds, we see so clearly. So don't, as Lama Zopa says, don't lie to yourself and vow never to do those again, because they're just so instinctive. but make some decisions about your own stuff. I'll make an effort to observe. I'll make an effort not to follow. I'll make an effort to catch it before it gets too strong. This kind of thing. Do what we can. Make some decisions for your sake and the sake of others, of course. So now imagine that the lotus that Lama Vajrasattva is sitting on dissolves up into his body, and the sun disk and moon disk dissolve into his body. And then he dissolves into white light. And think, Lama Vajrasattva very happily wanting to merge with my body, speech and mind, thinking like this, wanting to become oneness with my body, speech and mind. So he dissolves into white light and comes through my crown and fills me completely with this radiant energy of the Lama and the Buddha. And you think the energy of their body, speech and mind merges with my body, speech and mind. And then just kind of space out, no thoughts for a couple of moments. Just imagine the sense of expansion, vast as space, blissful, radiant energy. No thoughts. Just a couple of moments. Just relax now. That's great. Sorry. So any questions before we finish? We didn't talk about emptiness at all. We hardly even mentioned bodhicitta. I'm sorry, we ran out of time. Any questions before we finish? Yes.
You did a suggestion earlier about making a commitment to ourselves about something before we go to sleep. You said like at the time we're sleeping we wouldn't be breaking that.
You wouldn't be breaking it, would you? It's marvelous.
What about the dream that you're breaking it?
Well, I mean, of course, but you might, you're not fully breaking it in a dream. You can't be because there's nobody else involved, is there? So, I mean, let's say you make a vow, the main things we're saying here, the first main ones are the ones not harming others, okay? They're the ones we'll say, I will never kill. Well, there's no way you break that in your sleep, because there's no one there to kill. Unless you turn over and lie on your baby and that she dies, but even then there's no intention, so there's no karma. So that's completely clear. But your mind, if you're not making a commitment, okay, what are you going to commit to? I will never have a sexual thought or something in the next 12 hours, and you do in your dream, or what to do. But, is that what you're sort of saying? That kind of thing.
Yeah, I mean, does that create any karma? And if it does, should you purify?
Oh, John, I can't hear you so well.
Does it create any karma?
Well, yes, everything you do, if your mind does every minute, you're creating karma, yeah. You are. But you just got to be brave and start somewhere. And then see, if you keep doing it in your dream, then okay, then I don't know what to say, really. Of course you create karma in our dreams, we do, but there's no other thing. It's only our mind, isn't it? Not harming sentient beings, it is only our mind. And so then we keep trying to watch our minds and change our minds, But sometimes in a dream it doesn't always follow that it's negative. I mean, maybe in a dream you have this really violent dream and there's lots of fear and everything, but maybe that's a really good sign of purifying. So you've got to know how to interpret dreams, I think. Who else? Or we finish. Yes, darling.
Question about the vow of speech. Does that include tone as well? Because sometimes we can say
Can't
something.
hear you so well, sweetheart.
Huh?
Can't hear you so
Oh,
well.
does speech include tone as well? The way we say something?
Well, first of all, it's not a vow. Strictly speaking, we're not talking about a vow. We're talking about two things here. There's vows and there's commitments. And a commitment is a decision to do something. And a vow is a vow not to do. And they're the ones that are said to be more powerful. So this first ones we're talking about the various things of speech. It doesn't include that, but it seems to me, like you can see, there's only 7 things here. The 3 of the body. The main one is killing, for example, with the body. But you can see you can do lots of things to people with your body that harm others that aren't killing. So obviously you can think of those other things, you know. Like you said, you punch people all the time. There's no commitment not to punch, but it sort of goes without saying not to try and punch. So the same with the main ones of speech, you know, are the actual words you say, you know. And so, there's no commitment in there not to have sarcastic speech. But sure, once you get the sense of it, it would also include. You'd try not to do that, but that's not mentioned in there. But you can see it's implied. All the other variations of wrong speech are implied, aren't they? Do you see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. I mean, it's kind of getting close to harsh speech, isn't it? Mm-hmm. It's the tone. I'm just sort of talking a bit here, not being too precise. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
What else, people? Anything? Anything after that?
Yes.
All right. So don't forget, I think Deborah's going to put this on the website. Has she done it yet? Have you seen
She sent
the document?
yeah, she sent it to the people that signed up for it yesterday, email, and I have more people signed up today that I can send to Deborah to send out.
Well, I mean, if you wanted, you just email the centre. Simple. Email the centre, address it to Deborah, this document with all the stuff on it, plus the extra one about the 10 non-virtues and the consequences. So just email yourself, email Deborah if you want it on your computer. That's easy enough. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. And there's so much online too, there's so many resources online. Alex Burzen's website I always highly recommend. He's an amazing resource of incredible knowledge, you know. You can always, you want answers to things. There's good people online that you can really rely upon. There's lots of rubbish, so I would recommend. FPMT's got, like Lama Yeshe Wisdom Archive, lamayeshe.com. All of Lama Yeshe Lama Zopa's teachings are on there, masses and masses, thousands and thousands of pages, free on the FPMT. And then, of course, you've got this centre and what they've got on their website. And then you can get Alex Burzen, what's it?
Burzin Archives.
Huh?
Burzin
Archive, Berzin archives.com. He's a really reliable source. He's Gelupa. He's got excellent knowledge of all the traditions, and you can rely. If you want just if you want a valid answer to something, he mightn't be your teacher. Doesn't matter. He's really valid. You can rely on him. I tell you, he's excellent. He's an excellent resource. There's thousands of pages of stuff on his website. He's brilliant. All right.
Where
Yes.
can I find the French? Where can I find the
Institute Vajrayogini, near Toulouse. Institute Vajrayogini.fr. Institute Vajra Yogini. This is our centre in France, near Toulouse. And they've been there many years, and they probably have many good things. And there's a French publishing company, Edition Vajrayogini, I think.
Okay.
And they have very excellent. If you go on the FPMT website, FPMT, which is our organisation, when you go to the countries, you'll find in Europe the centres in France. There's one in Paris and one near Toulouse. They're both, and especially the one near Toulouse is a big retreat centre, wonderful. In a big old chateau that used to belong to Toulouse-Lautrec's uncle.
Really?
Yeah. Every year I go there. It's very nice. I do a 10-day retreat there every year. I go there every year and
Is there a
lead a
specific time that
10-day
you-
retreat.
So you have a translator
Oh yes, François, who's the director, he translates for me.
at a specific time in the summer? Or
Usually in the summer, but next year I'm doing it in the winter. Wait a minute, what year are we?
2014?
2014. When will I be in
I
Europe?
saw that you would be there for Christmas.
That's right, I'll be there for Christmas. Must be 2015. No, 2014 Christmas. Yeah, 2014 Christmas. I'll be there at Christmas, that's right,
Oh,
2014.
wow.
Yeah.
Cool.
It's a wonderful place. They're gorgeous people who run it. A lovely, lovely, lovely place. Wonderful thing. I've been there for 40 years, 30 years. It's a very wonderful place in the country. Very nice. And then our monastery is nearby, about 30 monks studying at a monastery nearby, a village about 10 kilometres away. And they have a small centre in Paris as well.
And Toulouse is a very beautiful place.
Yes, it's just wonderful. So, okay, folks, we didn't really finish everything, but we sort of roughly did. Yeah, and if you've got questions of me, because I said these things and I don't want to mislead you, so you can get my email. Just ask the centre for my email. You can email me anytime you like. I'm very happy to answer. Send you some documents, whatever you want. Please email me. Don't hesitate. So thank you.
Thank
I think we should take a picture. Get a camera. Come on. Where's Walter with his camera?